Good mythical morning, Bogur Nation. Today I have some very exciting news. The brand new hero of Marvel Rivals is just around the horizon. It's just here a couple of days away, and it's Deadpool, and I couldn't be more excited because Deadpool actually fits everybody's niche. If you want to be a duelist Deadpool, you can. If you want to be a Vanguard, you can. And if you want to heal your teammates, you can as well. Isn't that exciting? How does it work, you might ask? Well, it's pretty simple. You can only have one Deadpool per team. So unfortunately, you cannot have 3 Deadpools. Also, I'm 99% sure, haven't tested this, but if you do ban Deadpool, you cannot play any of the roles for Deadpool. If you're playing the game and your team needs some healing, you can just swap to him on a different role. So if you've been Deadpool on Vanguard and you need more healing, you go heal pool. If you need more damage, you go DPS pool. And if you need a tank again, you can go tank pool. That is a very unique concept, but that's not the only thing they have done with him, because the character itself is pretty unique. He has a lot of mechanics like upgrades, leveling up systems, and even a style meter like Devil May Cry. You might have noticed he's been goofing around in the background, and he is also a very, very goofy character. We're gonna start off with... Okay, I will. We're gonna start off with Tank Pool, and he yaps a lot, and he swears,
like we've got ourselves a party.
and he walks like a goofy little doofus. If I press F1, these are his abilities, and if I scroll, these are his upgrades, and if I scroll again, these are his other abilities when he has his sword out. You need a PhD to understand this hero. Please shut up. Now, first things first, he has a gun and he has a sword. Those work pretty similar. You just shoot with your gun. Those are the shots, and you have a melee kick. He actually, this is the first time I see this, but he actually hits people with his butt. Stupid. His sword is this, right? Like, so it's pretty straightforward, nothing too complicated. That's the damage he does. Whenever he's on the tank role, he has different stats depending on the role, and whenever he is support, he actually heals, and whenever he is actually on DPS, I think he does more damage. He also has a passive. I'm gonna press F1 here, you can read it out himself, but whenever he is out of combat, he starts healing, and whenever he's about to die, he actually reses himself. Now, thing is, I haven't been able to activate his passive, so I'm a little bit confused about it. The way it reads is that whenever he's about to croak, he actually, you know, gets his health back. So I'm not exactly sure how that one works. I couldn't activate it. It might be bugged or it might be stupid. But again, you just saw... Blah, 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 English is hard, but you just saw what happened. But when I'm out of combat and I've taken damage, I start healing up, which is really, really busted. I'm not gonna lie. This is a feature in Overwatch, obviously, for every hero, and it's a very, very good feature because you don't need to get topped up by your supports all the time, and it is a very decent amount of healing. Now that we got the passive and the weapons out of the way, let's talk about his abilities. His abilities slightly change depending on what weapon you're using. First and foremost, whenever you're playing tank pool, also your abilities are different on every role. We're gonna get into that later. Whenever you're on tank pool and you press right click, you actually summon a Winston bubble. And this Winston bubble is actually really cool because his middle name is also Winston. But it works the same way. You have HP on the bubble. It does block enemy like bullets, enemy ultimates, enemy whatever. His E actually gives you movement speed. I'm gonna press F1, actually you can read it, and he non-stop yaps in the background. Whenever you press E, you taunt your enemies, you mess up their vision, and you burn their health. And you also get attack speed. So if I press E here and I swap to my sword, I'm gonna be going crazy with it, right? Same with my guns, shoot really fast. Really strong ability. Has a 10-second cooldown. You just saw my other ability, which is my double jump. You can hop on enemies' heads, you can bounce on them. Depending on the role, you might do damage or heal teammates and reset the cooldown as well. But on tank pool, you can hop around, you can hop on enemies, you can hop off walls, you can hop wherever you want. It is pretty damn cool, right? So I'm gonna hop off a wall here, boom. So that is the hop. Pretty straightforward. Now we're gonna swap to his blade. You know, you just stab enemies, and you have one different ability. I'm pretty sure your right click. So your right click is this. So you just slash. Whenever you press right click, you actually hit enemies, and you get to do it 3 times, right? So I'm gonna activate it again. It starts counting down. I can activate it again. It resets, and you can see the charges below my crosshair, and those are the 3 charges that you have. Now let's talk about his ultimates. So first and foremost, Deadpool has 2 ults, right? His first ult is the gun one. So depending on which weapon you're using, you have a different ult. So the gun ult is the one you saw in the trailer. I'm gonna show you the ultimate ability here. You taunt enemies, and then Deadpool gets bonus HP. And whenever you whiff abilities, you take damage, and you get even more HP. So whenever an enemy gets this thing put on them, they actually take more damage, and Deadpool gets more bonuses if they're bad at the game. So if you put this on Necros, you're gonna have infinite value. So if I send this on this enemy Deadpool right now, you show them the middle finger, basically. You do vicious mockery, and I get bonus HP. Hard to replicate what's going on, but yeah, I'm sorry, I just lost focus because whenever you're next to a Deadpool in game, he starts yapping.
Oh, it's me. I'm sorry. It was the chimichanga I had last night, you know.
And he doesn't stop yapping. And if you have 2 Deadpools, they just yap non-stop, and it makes me go crazy. Can you please? The way his ultimate works actually is completely different to anything else in the game. I completely forgot to mention it. It is not actually something you charge up. I'm going to use it up again. But it's actually a style meter, and you have a 43-second cooldown before you can charge it up again. So whenever you use your ultimate, it goes down in a cooldown, and then once it's done with a cooldown, which will happen in a bit, you need to farm style points. The way you farm style points is by going around shooting enemies, activating your abilities. Your abilities actually do a lot, like in the sense of charging your style up. They farm it quite a bit, and that actually gets exaggerated quite a bit whenever you upgrade them, in the sense that whenever you upgrade them, your abilities farm it even faster because your abilities are more lethal and you can activate it more times. We're going to talk about upgrades later. I'm sorry for frying your brain. My brain is also fried. I've been on this for hours trying to figure out how to make this video. But now that we have his cooldown off, I'm going to show you how you farm style. So if I see this Deadpool here and I start shooting him, I slowly start charging up style points. If I start activating abilities, though, the bubble doesn't activate your style points because it's not very stylish. But if I hop on his head, I think it's going to give me style points. It actually farmed a whole chungus. And if I swap to my blades, the blades do quite a bit in terms of farming. And then I can hop on his head again. And whenever I use my E, that also farms style points, and then I get my ult. Let's talk about the second ultimate. And the second ult, there's a lot going on here to read, but it gives you speed, it gives you healing, it gives you extra HP if you're on the Vanguard row, and if you finish the combos. And what I mean by finish the combos is that whenever you use it, it tells you what abilities to do. Usually it tells you to hop on people's heads or slash them, so right click on with a sword. If you do that, you actually get even more speed boost, I think, right? Mega speed and healing, and it resets your healing factor cooldown. So it makes you extra tanky because you can go down to 0 HP, activate your passive. When your passive gets activated, if your ultimate was already popped, you do the 5 chunguses, and that resets it. And then if you go down to 0 again, you get another life. So let me activate it. Don't forget, this also applies to your teammates, but if I activate this, I'm going to remove my cooldown just to make sure I don't miss this. But right click, hop, hop. I get it. I'm even faster, and I do a lot. You know, like I'm sure there's some combos. I forgot to mention, actually, when you get a kill in Rivals with Deadpool, you can take a selfie with the enemy you killed. Oh, that's the upgrade tab. Let me kill this guy. Take a selfie. Smile. Whenever you take the selfie, by the way, you're immune to damage, by the way. And I just said, by the way, twice. And as you can see, I'm immune to damage, right? So you're immune to damage, to stuns, to anything. You can tank anything. And I think that's the most broken ability in the game, okay? Because imagine you go into the fight, you get a kill on one of the supports, you're low HP, and you just take a selfie with their dead body, and then they rage quit, and you know, you win instantly. Jokes aside, you take a selfie with them after you kill them, like a serial killer. When you do that, your team can heal you up, and you can go back in, get another kill. You can do it again. I'm pretty sure there's no cooldown from what I've seen. And you can keep doing it, and no matter how low in HP you are, as long as you have bodies to take pictures with, you're like, you can't die. You might be wondering, what is the chungus below my HP, and why does it say upgrade? And the reason why it says upgrade is because everything I just showed you actually can get upgraded. So I showed you the tab by accident, but whenever you do stuff in game and you play the game and play Deadpool, you get XP, and when you get your XP, you can upgrade your abilities. When you upgrade an ability, like your gun for example, it actually becomes golden. Now I'm gonna upgrade the sword, and it also becomes golden. Now I'm gonna upgrade a bunch of abilities. I'm not sure if I have enough XP to upgrade everything. I don't yet. But I'm going to start showing you stuff, and I'm going to get enough XP for the last one. First and foremost, let's go back to the past, and talk about his abilities once more, but now in upgraded form. First, you have the guns, and when the guns are upgraded, you charge up this little poop, and whenever this poop is charged up, it explodes. It doesn't do much damage, but you can spam them out, you know. They get farmed so fast. And I think they auto aim. I'm not sure. No, they don't auto aim, so you need to aim them. So, you know, in the middle of a fight, I was gonna say it farms a lot of full charge, but no, it doesn't. But it might farm a lot of style points, right? Second of all, the swords. So whenever you have the sword here and you hop on somebody's head, you can headshot. It doesn't do too much damage, but it's okay, right? It's fine. I don't see the value in it on the Vanguard row. There is more value on other rows, because other rows get resets when you bounce. The next one we have is his right click, and his right click when you have your swords is it lets you like jump around. So this is pretty good, because when you do this, you're moving around, it's harder to get you. You can like swap sides basically, because you can jump over people's heads, you can mess up people's aim, and it's pretty good. Whenever you use that ability, you probably also farm more cell points because you look cooler. Next up, we have his E. His E works the same way as we saw in the trailer, right? So whenever you use your E, it actually taunts them now, gives damage reduction to everybody. Again, gives you speed for your swords and guns, and if enemies are around you for too long, your UI gets taped over. We saw this in the trailer, so I'm gonna activate this. You can't really see it from my perspective, but you can see how fast I am. I get damage reduction, and if people stay in the circle for a really long time, like they just get a bunch of ads, like they're watching Twitch and their UIs get taped over. Next up, we have the bounce, and the bounce, upgraded bounce, I think what happens with the upgraded bounce is that you can bounce multiple times whenever you're ulted. Now we're gonna talk about his upgraded ultimates. Let me upgrade the second one. First, we have the upgraded Banhammer, and the upgraded Banhammer, you get bonus health and healing, and if you miss an ability, it gets doubled, and you get more pain, it says, so I think you get, there is more damage dealt to you. Deadpool gets more HP. It is kind of confusing reading the tooltips in this game, because there's a lot of flavor text, and I don't like it, because I just want to see what it does. Yeah, it does damage. I was right. So now it does damage. You get more bonuses depending on the misses. The other ultimate, whenever I use that one, I actually get a reset on my bounce. Go to the sword, use my ultimate. Boink, 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 boink. And every time I bounce in them, I can do more in the terms of damage, because my slashes now do headshot damage. And look how fast I am. And look, there's after images. And it's so cool, and I'm so awesome. And I can take a selfie. that's Deadpool in the Vanguard role. I'm gonna lose my mind. Next up, we have Deadpool's main role, at least that's how I think about it, DPS pool or Duelist pool. So Duelist pool is pretty much the same, but not really, in the sense that his core mechanics are the same, and a lot of the abilities are also the same, but some are different, right? First and foremost, he has 250 HP, and he does way more damage. I'm sorry about the lag, it's all in NA right now in the early access servers. And his swords also are more lethal. And also he loves Wolverine. Anyways, when you are playing DPS pool, these are your abilities. I'm just showing them to you. You can pause and check them out. Your first ability that changes is your right click on the gun. So whenever you have the gun out, you can throw out a little boomerang, a little sword, a little batarang. I don't know the exact word, but once you throw it out, it goes in and it goes back. Now, the second ability here that we have is his right click, and I think it functions a little bit differently. Let me just check it out whether or not it's the same. No, it's basically the same, right? So it's the same as tank pull, and you have 2 charges. So whenever you activate this ability in the DPS category, you have 2 charges of it. So you can do 3 slashes, and then you can do 3 more slashes, and it has a cooldown where you farm your charges back up, in the sense that it kind of works like Bucky. I think Bucky also has an ability that gets 2 charges. So while you have 1 charge, your other charge is getting reset. He just has more charges on his right click. And it kind of makes sense because he is supposed to be doing DPS. His E is pretty much the same, I think, right? You just taunt enemies, but you don't actually get attack speed. So whenever you use this, unlike the tank roll, you don't really get any attack speed. So you can't just roam around and like do the same thing as the Vanguard roll. You kind of just taunt them and you sit there in their face. Whenever you bunny hop on DPS pool, you actually reset your cooldown. Hop, 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 hop. And now that I missed, goes on cooldown. This also works if you bounce on a wall. So if I go on this wall and I do this, boom, it resets. So you can hop around walls, you can hop on enemies as much as you want, as long as you land it. So it rewards good players. Now, next up, let's see his ultimates. Whenever you use skill issue, you slap a taunt, and whenever they miss an ability, they take damage. So let me swap to the gun. So it works slightly differently than tank pool, because tank pool, you do damage if you upgrade it, but you also get a lot of bonus HP. So let me just slap it on an enemy. And they can't miss abilities because they're bots, but you get the idea. Next up, is his other ultimate. Let me just recharge my ult. Ability cooldown. Boom, boom, bam. So let me just read it out just to make sure I don't miss anything. Whenever you use Pop Quiz, it gives you free speed, gives you healing, and if you actually land your abilities there, like the tank pool thing, you actually get even more speed and even more healing. So let me just try this. Go up to the enemies, press Q on them with the different ability. 3, 2, 1. Now, it's gonna be easier to do this on DPS pool than tank pool, because you have so many charges and you can reset your cooldown on your jump as well by landing on people. And also, I'm 99% sure that the cooldown on my ultimate is lower, because it is 30 seconds right now when I use that ult. And if I use the other one, I'm pretty sure it's like 40 seconds. So, okay, we just found out some brand new information. Depending on which ult you use, it actually changes the cooldown. So if you use the other one, it's 30 seconds. And if you use the heckling one, it's 45. Moving on to the next step, and that's the upgrade. So whenever you upgrade your guns, I think it works basically the same. So the gun and the sword, whenever you upgrade them, they work the same way as the other rows. I think it does a little bit more damage though. It seems like the poop does more damage. Or maybe not. And then I think I upgraded the sword. No, the sword is not upgraded. You can see that by the fact that it's not golden. and it works the same way, but it's easier to actually pull off because you have infinite hops. So if I hop on somebody, you do way more damage, and because you can keep hopping, you can keep critting in people's heads, so you can in their head and like lobotomize them. Headshot Duelist. So this one is actually pretty cool. It's the Batarang, but whenever it is actually upgraded and you throw it out and you catch it, you can throw it out. Yep. So I think Draven works kind of similar in League of Legends. Right? Boom. Boom. And then whenever you catch it like 2 times, the 3rd time you throw it out, it explodes. I want to see how much damage it does. Throw it out. Throw it out. That is a lot of damage, actually. And it does a lot of damage per second. You can aim where it goes, and you can just send it on the floor, and does a lot of damage, and then it explodes. That is a lot of damage. So if I throw it on the ground, throw it on the ground, boom. That is really strong, actually. That is unironically so OP. Now we're gonna upgrade his dashes, and I think when it's upgraded, I can keep doing it. Now with the bouncy castle action, slash bounce repeat. It's like the world's deadliest pinball. Cooldowns, never heard of them. Yeah, so whenever you upgrade it, you can keep going on as long as you hit your right clicks. Now, I know if it's just me, but I think this is slightly OP. It just keeps going on. Now imagine if there's like a bunch of enemies. I think you can just spam it. I'm just spamming as fast as possible. And if you combine it with your hop, you can do even more. That's his upgradability. Now, the upgrades on the Duelist row seem a little bit stronger than the tank row. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like the tank ones are so timid compared to the DPS ones. The DPS ones change up his abilities substantially. There's one more, actually, I forgot. It's the E. So if I upgrade the E, so whenever you have the E, look at the wall of text. It's like a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Whenever you upgrade the E, they actually take damage. Their HP melts. You taunt them, and you tank hits like a champ. So this means, I think, that you probably have damage reduction. And whenever people are stuck around you for a long time, they get their UI taped over. As again, you saw it in the trailer. I have a feeling that if I use this with my right click, it's gonna do a lot of damage. That is a scary amount of damage. That's again, it is bots, and I'm not doing any fancy combos, but that is a lot of damage. I think you can blow up enemies and supports quite quickly. Now let's upgrade his other abilities, his 2 ultimates, Skill Issue and Pop Quiz. And when those ultimates are upgraded, I'm losing my voice because I've been yabbing for 2 hours now. Whenever those ones, Skill Issue, for example, is upgraded, their HP melts away, and if they whiff an ability, they get bonus pain and become vulnerable now. So if I cast this, again, it's going to be hard to actually showcase because he's not missing any abilities, but he's taking damage over time, and if you start whiffing abilities, like just now, he whiffed a shot, and you just saw how much damage he took. I can't believe I actually managed to showcase this. This also works on primary fire. He just whiffed, and he just took a bunch of damage, and he became vulnerable. Now, this ability is so OP if the enemy has a hyper carry, because he's just gonna get obliterated. And I think that's the point. His other ultimate, if you upgrade it, which we did actually do already, again, a wall of text. Whenever you activate this Pop Quiz ultimate, it's the one where you have to activate abilities, you get 3 freebies. You're gonna get a little bit of speed boost, you're gonna get healing, and then you're gonna get damage boost. If you activate your abilities, exactly the ones he wants, you get super speed, super healing, and damage boost, and you reset all of your cooldowns without healing factor. Now, healing factor gets reset if you're a tank. Brother, that seems so OP. So if I change to my swords and I use my chimichangas, I'm gonna start spamming. It activates, and now I'm, you know, like, it's hard to showcase, but like, I'm just going crazy with it. And I'm sure there's a lot of combos, and I'm sure there's a lot of cool things to do. And he seems really, really fun and really complicated and really strong. And genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, one of the most fun characters I've ever seen in the game. And we're not even done yet, because next up, we have the support version. Welcome to Support Pool. This character is the third version of Deadpool, and he can actually heal his teammates. So he has 250 HP, the same as before, but the main difference is that he can now heal allies. So when these guys respawn, I'll show you exactly what I mean. So if I shoot them, they just get healed. And I'm pretty sure the same applies with the swords, but if I hit enemies. Yes. So the swords heal around you if you hit enemies, but the guns, you can shoot your teammates to heal them. It doesn't do as much damage as Duelist Pool. So if you remember, Duelist Pool could 3-shot enemies. This one takes a little bit more time, and the swords don't do that much more. Let's get back into his abilities for the third time in a row and talk about how they work when you're a support. Press F1. Number one ability that we need to talk about is his right click. So his right click, whenever you have the gun out, actually heals teammates. So whenever you hit an enemy, you just do AoE healing, I'm pretty sure. It's the sword. So whenever I'm with the sword, yeah. So I have no cooldowns right now, but it just works like his normal melee. Like, it just heals around you. It's nothing too crazy. If I swap to no cooldowns, I do 1 dash, 2 dashes, it's gone, right? So you can't just use it over and over again like DPS pool or the Vanguard one. The Vanguard one works a little bit differently, of course, but here you just get 2 dashes and 2 slashes. Next up, we have his E. So whenever you actually press your E, it works the same way. You taunt enemies, you mess up their vision, and you also heal. So basically, in general, whenever you play support pool, it kind of works the same way as DPS pool, but slightly weaker and just heals allies, right? So like, they trade off the damage and they just add a bunch of healing. So let me just show you this. Press E. Does you know, all the damage, all the taunting stuff, and also heals your allies. I don't know how much healing per second it does exactly. It's okay. It's alright. It's nothing too crazy. Next up, we have his hop, and I think his hop allows you to hop on allies' heads and heal them. Does it reset the cooldown though? Yeah, it does. So you can keep hopping on your teammate that tilts you, and you can tilt them back. So if you miss the hop though, again, cooldown gone, you need to wait. But if you land it over and over again, you can just heal your allies. It doesn't seem too strong, but it is pretty goofy. Does it reset if you jump off a wall? Let's see. Yeah, so if you hop off a wall, it actually resets as well. So works like DPS pool, just does healing. Does it reset if you hop on an enemy? It does. So it also does damage, right? So next up, we need to swap, and we have the boomerang. And whenever you have the boomerang, let me just swap around. I am pretty sure it heals, right? So whenever you send it out, it heals allies, and it also does damage to enemies. So let me throw it out there, and it just heals him. And I think if I aim at his feet, it's just gonna sit there and do a bunch of healing, which is honestly pretty strong. That is really strong. So if you imagine a situation where both teams are fighting over a point or an objective or a choke, throw it on the ground. A lot of damage towards the enemies, a lot of healing towards your allies, and as it comes back, it does more damage and even more healing. So it's gonna really change the pace of the battle because your team is gonna get a lot more healing. It's kind of like a more OP cloak bubble. Because you can move it around, and you can go behind an ally, and then it's going to come back to you, and it's going to do more healing. His ultimate, whenever you are in support pool, whenever you have the sword, it starts healing allies. So whenever you activate it, the final exam starts healing, and if you hit enough enemies, it heals more. So I'm going to press it. I do wonder if you can actually activate it off of allies too. So you can hop on allies' heads as well. So you can keep hopping. Up, hop, hop. Wait. Hop. And now that it's activated, you do a lot of healing, you get movement speed, and you aura farm, right? It's great. That is a lot of healing, not gonna lie. That is a lot of healing. And I'm pretty sure it also activates whenever you use your right click and I think boomerang. So if you do your boomerang, and then it resets the duration whenever you finish up the quest. And it has a longer duration in general. So it is a circle of healing. It is, I do want to point out, we got another circle of healing. We do have another circle of healing that lasts for 12 seconds, right? So Luna Snow, old news, because technically you can make this last for even more. You can make it last for 18 seconds. I don't know how much healing per second it does though. So I don't know if it's gonna allow you to tank oats. I know if it's going to be like Mantis or something, but it is a really decent ability considering the fact that you don't need to really farm it. The other ultimate ability, whenever you heckle them, they take damage and your team and you get non-stop healing. And every hit you take from the ability means extra health for us. So kind of like a mixture between Vanguard and Duelist pool. So if I heckle this DEADPOOL, I have a little chungus around me. And that heals my allies. And also, whenever he misses his stuff, I get shields. And my teammates also get shields. Okay, capiche? Understandable? Basically, all of his abilities heal now. Everything just heals, right? Every single thing that dealt damage before does less damage and heals more. Now let's talk about his upgrades. Whew. I'm pretty sure the sword and the gun work the same way. Yeah, your guns, again, you're farming up the poop. Pretty much the same thing. It heals. I think the poop heals allies. Yeah, it said it heals. So this thing, it heals allies. Let me do it again. If I can land it. Boom, I did it. And the sword upgraded. You can just crit enemies, and whenever you hop on allies or enemies, again, you can, you know, crit in their head, stab them in the head, lobotomize them. All of those great things, again, like before. The other abilities are kind of, again, similar to Duelist pool. They just, again, heal quite a bit. So, if we do the upgraded version of the right click, it bounces you around like tank pool, and you can do a few, right, one after another. I think I have no cooldowns right now, so that's why it's like that. But let me just wait a bit, and then let me use it. Boom. Boom and boom. You have 2 charges of this, and you can do it 3 times per charge. It heals allies, it does damage, and you get to fly around the map like tank pool. Next up, we have the boomerang, and you guessed it, it heals allies and also does damage. And you can catch it and throw it out again like Duelist pool. So if I do this, heals allies, comes back, I throw it again. And I throw it again, and on the third one, it actually explodes, says boom on the screen, and does damage. I'm going to do it again just so you can see how much damage and healing it does. Boom, throw it, catch it, boom, catch it again, and then throw it out there, and then boom. Really big range, really strong. Next up, you have your E, and you guessed it right, again, it does heal, but it also gives you damage boost. So, I know how you can see whether or not it damage boosts you, but whenever enemies are next to you, they get taunted, they get the ads, they get their HP taped over, like every other upgraded version. But your allies also obviously get some healing and damage boost as well. I think we talked about all of them, and now it's time for his ultimate. So the gun one, the judge one, as you remember before, it heals your allies and it heckles the enemy. But now, I'm pretty sure they start taking damage as well. Yes, so now they take damage. Again, if they whiff something, you get more healing, you get more buffs, you get more stats, and it's more annoying for the enemy. Again, it just works very, very similar to before. It just does healing. And if we swap to his other ultimate, finally, we have the upgraded version of Final Exam. The Final Exam upgraded version heals allies. And also, if you do your combo, you get upgraded bonus HP, you get upgraded heals, and you also reset your healing factor. So if I press Q here, I start spamming, spam again, everybody's dead, so I can't spam it on anyone, please respawn. boom. And now I have a bunch of bonus HP. I have 550 HP. And so do my teammates, okay? That is ridiculously strong, okay? I do want to point out that is, I think, 300 bonus HP. Everybody gets that. Your entire team gets that. So you can tank a lot of ultimates if you play correctly. It's kind of like Mantis ult, okay? Finally, I managed to finish talking about all of the abilities, all of the upgrades, and everything this hero has to offer. And there's so many things. You have so many combos to do. You have so many options, so much flexibility. You need to understand what abilities you want to upgrade, which abilities suit the team the best, because you need to choose the upgrades correctly. A lot of his strength comes from the upgrades. Like, a lot of it boils down to knowing what to upgrade at what time, and knowing how your abilities combo off of each other and which ultimate to use. Because if you do not use the right ultimate in the right time, you're gonna get severely punished with a really, really long cooldown. Not to mention that you need to land your abilities to get your ultimate, right? Maybe, though, the next few heroes should be pretty easy, because I think they have been ignoring the more casual player base, in the sense that we need more Jeff the Land Sharks. We need more characters like Cloak and Dagger. More characters like Magneto. Magneto is hard to master, but very easy to play. We need characters that are easy for the casual player base. Deadpool and Angela and Daredevil are all very complicated characters, and even though they're fun, it is really hard to make a new player learn them and play them. Finally, I'm going to show you his Lord icon, and I haven't seen this one before, but we also have the brand new Proficiency system. Let me move my camera out of the way here, though, so you can see his full glory. If we just start scrolling here, you can see you get a little border, you get a little, icon, you get a little nameplate, you get the KO prompts, and then level 20, you have this amazing Lord icon that is so unique and cool, and I really like it. If you keep scrolling forward, though, you can see different stuff. You get this little badge, you get more points, you get a different name, you get a little border, you get an even cooler border. I know if you can only equip it for your hero, probably you can only equip it for your hero. And it's now called Warrior, Elite, and you get a Champion Lord icon. Actually, that is really cool. It is animated. Oh my god. Okay, I love the new Proficiency system. And you get a little badge, and then you get Legendary Deadpool. And I think that's amazing. I'm really happy they actually expanded the Proficiency system, because I thought the Lord icons were really cool. And I'm glad they actually did showcase a new system that actually has a lot of depth, and you get rewarded for being Cloak and Dagger one trick, I guess. But yeah, that's about it for Deadpool. And you have the new skin, the pirate skin, which honestly, I've shown so much of Deadpool today that I'm kind of sick of him. But if you're watching this right now, I might be streaming, the character and playing him either on launch day or during the preview stream that I will be doing while this video is coming out at the same time. If not, enjoy the character on Friday. I think that's January 16th. And, have fun learning him. I'm very excited about this, and I'm very excited to play the game. That will be